I am. What's going on, you guys? Happy Transformation Tuesday. So happy to be here. Beautiful people, ES Army, let's freaking go on a Transformation Tuesday. Hold on, I'm going to close the door real quick. Okay, I want to see who do we have today. Welcome, Kat Brown, Sarah Morris, Nicole Moreno, Jamie Thompson, Michelle Fole, Leilani, Kat Brown, Lori Burke, Shelly Rice. I am here. Facebook users, we got to figure this thing out. Why do Facebook users keep getting called Facebook users? I want to see who you are. So in the chat, if your name says Facebook user, just go ahead and drop what's your name, just so that I can acknowledge you for who you are. Mindy B, G Hunk, Julie Hughes. Hello, you guys. It's Transformation Tuesday. I wanted to come on here today simply because I love hanging out with you guys. And because it is Transformation Tuesday, I wanted to zap you with just some golden nuggets that will help you to carry on in your transformation journey. So real quick, if you can drop in the chat a 1, a 2, or a 3 based on how long you've been in the ES Army, I'd love to know. So a 1 would be if this is your first month in the ES Army. A 2 would be if you are on your first 6 months. And a 3 would be anything more than 6 months. So if you've been with us for 6 months or a year or 2 years, would love to know. Which of these are you? A 1, a 2, or a 3? I'll repeat it again. Also for myself, 1, this is your first month. 2, your first 6 months, and then 3, more than 6 months. Okay. So for 1, if you're in 1, and maybe this is your first live video, I just want to say welcome to the ES Army. Okay. We stand for empowerment. We stand for freedom of body and mind, and we stand for confidence. Okay. 2s, lots of 2s in the house. You guys are on the momentum train. Love it. And then we've got some 3s. Love that. Love that. Okay. Mostly 2s, some 3s. And then we've got some 1s. Super excited to have you here. So because it is Transformation Tuesday, I want to enlighten you with 3 things to consider where it doesn't matter where you're currently at in your journey. It will help you to continue to break through, and it will help you to continue to build momentum with regards to wherever it is that you're at. So at this point in time, you already know, and if you haven't, you will learn now that it's not about the weight that you lose, but rather it's about the person that you become in the process. Okay. And I want to share with you a quick story. You know, my transformation journey started at the age of 12 years old. And I didn't even know that it was a transformation journey until when I actually understood how the game works. Because you see, for the longest time, I thought that my transformation lied in the number on the scale. If you can resonate with this, go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. I want to see you. Actually, I love sharing with you guys some notes. So Let's see how this turns on, and maybe we'll do some note taking today. But I'll tell you, the first, yes. Okay, yes, AF. I see you guys. So I'll tell you, the first decade of my journey was treated as a diet, was treated as a weight loss plan. And if you are hearing this for the first time and you're like, wait, but I thought that that's how it works, just bear with me for one moment, because I'm going to enlighten you. Okay? Who in here already knows that this is so much more than, you know, a number on the scale, or and that this is so much more than a diet? I'll tell you, this is the biggest thing that, you know, either the weight loss industry, the fitness industry doesn't know or doesn't want to share with you. They either don't want you to know it, or they either don't know it themselves. For sure. It's not about the weight that you lose, but rather who you become in the process. So I'll share with you what happened the first 10 years. I went from counting calories. It all started with counting calories. And then if you've ever been called extra, extremist, all black or white, go ahead and drop an I in the chat. I want to see you, because this is how I've been called my entire life. Okay, you're a disruptor, and that's perfectly fine. You're all black and white. Why do you have to be so extremist? So with me, I take everything to an extreme. So you see, when you tell me to start counting calories, and you know, like the baseline is 2,000, this is where most people start. You know that you're not like most people. So what do? You're like, okay, I'm gonna go the extra mile. I'm going to take it one step further. Now, what does one step further mean with all things weight loss and with all things diet? Cutting. Less. Now, here's a secret that nobody wants you to know, or either doesn't know. That you rewarding yourself with less is actually going to sabotage you in more than one area of your life, because it's going to develop what we call a scarcity mindset, and it's going to leak into every single relationship. It's going to leak into how you treat yourself with food, with regards to your family, with regards to how you take care of your kids, and anything along those lines. So you see, I would take things to the extreme, and I took what was a 2,000 calorie diet, and upon myself, I decided to coach me. That coaching only lasted for so long, and it went from 2,000 to 1,800 to 1,500 to 1,200 to 1,000 to, hold on, let's go to the dark side. If you've ever taken yourself to the dark side, go ahead and drop a D. D for dark. Dark side. At that point, I would exercise at least 2 hours every single day, and my calorie target was 800 calories a day. You only get to eat 800 calories. So, okay, I burned over 1,000 calories on the elliptical. Wow. Really, you guys? So many of you have taken yourself to the dark side? No kidding. Okay, we have so much in common. This is amazing. So, took myself to the dark side, and I was like, okay, good. Now, if you have burnt more calories during your workout than you get to eat, then number to number, okay, point number one is coming. I'm sharing it with the story so you can remember it. Number to number, that means that you must get results faster. Yes. Because if 1 pound is worth 3,500 calories and I want to go as fast as I can. 1 pound is worth 3,500 calories. Then now, if my body needs 2,000 calories and I'm actually burning 1,000 calories, then what you're telling me, mechanics, is that I should actually drop about 1 pound a day, almost. Okay, let's go. Like, won't you, if you knew that you could get from California to New York on a plane in 5 hours versus 5 days, would you rather get on a plane so you can get there faster? Yes or no? Let me see you go ahead and drop it in the chat. Yes or no? If you knew that you could get from California to New York in 5 hours versus 5 days of driving in the car, would you rather get on a plane? Of course you would. It only makes sense, right? So I did the same thing. I'm like, okay, if 1 pound is worth 3,500 calories, then let me burn as much as I can through my exercise, and then let me see how much I can get away with in terms of food. And then I was on a deficit of 3,200 calories a day. So basically, if I can go 200 miles an hour versus 60 miles an hour, I would do that. Mechanics, right? Okay, awesome. Now, you guys, guess what happened? Mechanics in your transformation journey are only going to take you so far. And if you know that you've done calorie counting, or if you've done macro counting, and it only got you so far, perhaps after you've tried all these things, this is why you came to the ES Army. Let me see you go ahead and drop an ES in the chat. I want you to know that I see you. I want you to know that I hear you. And there's another thing that I want you to know. Mechanics will only take you so far. It's important to have an understanding of the mechanics, but if your entire application, you guys, this is point number 1, rock and roll. Let's go, you guys. Appreciate you being here today. So proud of you all. Mechanics are only going to take you so far, you guys. It's important to have an understanding of mechanics, but you see, if your entire execution is based on mechanics, then guess what? You can only go so far. And this is what happened to me, and this is what happened with you guys. Okay, so there is a time and a place to mechanics. You know, it's like, I want you to think of it in terms of dating. Okay, let's say if you had this is your 10-step formula to finding your perfect partner and getting married in 10 months, if that's what you wanted. Step number 1, wear this outfit on day 1. Step number 2, take them on this for a first date. But what if the person is, let's say, a vegetarian and you're taking them to a nice steakhouse? You just blew it on step number 2. Do you see what I mean? So when it comes to any process in life, there's got to be an understanding of the mechanics. But if your sole form of execution is based on the mechanics, you're only going to go so far. And for the entire first 10 years of my journey, what I did was mechanics, 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 mechanics. Okay, so then calorie counting only took me so far, and then I went to the extreme dark side. What if I just cut out food completely? Let's see how far I can go with that. Anorexia, bulimia, you name it. And then I'm like, okay, none of that works. because I felt like I lost my body and I lost my mind in the process too. So then, what was it next? It was the Atkins, it was Zone, it was South Beach, this, that, you name it. There was even one diet, you guys, in the chat. Actually, go ahead and drop. What is the most ridiculous diet you've ever been on? So I'll tell you, the most ridiculous diet I've ever been on was, I don't even know if there's a name to it, but like the plan. I love it how they say the plan is this. The plan is to every single morning start your day and have a breakfast with a piece of chocolate cake. Lose weight and eat your cake too. Damn. If you know anything about me, you know that I love me some chocolate. And you know that, hey, love me some cake too. And what happened? I only lasted for 8 days because I realized that it simply doesn't work. And it's like, yeah, dude, way. So listen, when we are so desperate, who else is a chocolate lover? Go ahead and drop a C. But I'll tell you something. When you are so desperate, you would do anything. You're like, dude, tell me to eat chocolate cake for breakfast, even though I know in my mind it does not make any sense whatsoever. I will go ahead and fucking do it. Okay? It's like you will do the most ridiculous things that don't make a sense in your mind whatsoever, but you're like, okay, I will go for it anyways. I think Sarah Morris wins the chocolate lover contest, you guys. It's a CCC, just saying. So yeah, this is what happened. My first 10 years, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I focused on the mechanics. And the mechanics would take me anywhere from 8 days to I would hit a wall, to 3 days and I would hit a wall, to maybe a couple of months and I would hit a wall. And the same cycle happened over and over and over and over and over for 10 years. Literally same story, different type of cake. One was a chocolate cake, one was a vanilla cake, one was carrot cake. I'm just kidding about cake. Not all of them, included me having cake. But I'm just saying apples to apples, right? It's like follow this plan, follow this plan, follow this plan. All the mechanics this, mechanics that, mechanics that. So something to note in terms of mechanics is that there are plenty of ways to get to the same destination. However, when you are executing from mechanics only, you're only going to go so far. Because I'll tell you, it's like, think about, you traveling from California to New York. Okay, from California to New York. And let's think about it before GPS days. Okay, you see this map that we had to read. Thank God for GPS, right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to go down this route and I'm going to drive east. Now, what happens if there's a roadblock because, there's construction on the road? Oh, shit. Now I got to go all the way back. Now, what's the beauty of GPS? There's traffic in the next 60 miles ahead. Would you like to take this road instead? Yes, I would, whichever way I can get to. Okay, awesome. This is the beauty of GPS. And I share this with you because when you are focused on your vision rather than your mechanics, you're going to get there anyways, no matter what. However, nobody tells you that. So what you really need to know is a couple of things. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? I'm going to write it just for myself as well. 1 second. Where do you want to go? By the way, are you guys finding value in this? If so, can you just go ahead and drop a yes in the chat? I want to make sure I'm adding value to you. Where do you want to go? The second thing is, what does that look like? What does that look like? And then the third thing is, what is the purpose of that? Okay, good. I'm glad you're getting value from this. And then what is the purpose of that? And I share this with you because if your story is anything like mine, or maybe you're on the right path, but you've hit a road bump, and now you're getting back to your comfort zone, which is mechanics, mechanics, mechanics. Let me see how many times I can work out per day. Let me track my calories on MyFitnessPal, or all those things. Remember, when it comes to mechanics, there's more than one way to make it work. The GPS will take you to your destination as long as you know what is the destination. So the destination for a GPS is what vision is to your body transformation journey. You see what I mean? So when it comes to your body transformation, okay, you got to know, where do you want to go? I want to be shredded with a six-pack. I want to look so jacked that I'm undeniable and that people can see my presence from 100 feet away. Or I want to, wear this type of bathing suit and look and feel extremely confident and look vibrant and feel like I'm like Pam Anderson running on the beach in slow-mo. I don't know. I don't know what does that look like for you. But I'll tell you that for the first 10 years, I was so wrapped up in all of my mechanics. And if I'm being honest, in my bullshit story, because I just didn't know any better. And I jumped from one shiny object to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, finding myself only going backwards. Because you see, when you're actually staying in the same place over time, that's considered to be a flat line. And one of our mentors always says this: a flat line eventually goes down. Okay, so, as the years went on, the weight and the numbers actually went up. When you're in stagnation for a long period of time, things actually start to go down in anything in life. Okay, so the first thing is, where do you want to go? I don't know what is your vision, but once I realized that 10 years ago, so I've been about 11 years on the right path now. I want to see ES Army in the chat. How long has it been since you've been enlightened with the right message? And what results have you gotten from that? So like, for example, maybe like 1 year, 33 pounds. So would love to know, how long has it been since you've been enlightened with the message? And what have you accomplished since then? I see a lot of you guys who've had so much success. However, there's one name that I want to recognize real quick: Michelle Foll. Michelle, you started with us, just about a year ago. And now you know that the way that you were executing was all sorts of just not how you should execute. You didn't know what you didn't know. I would say it took you about 3 months for it to click. And since then, everything changed. I remember that you so did not even get what this was all about that, when you did your first round of what is now the Rocking Body with us, I remember how pissed you were. And we got on a conversation. Michelle Foll, if you're still here with us, and this is true, just go ahead and let me see you drop a hell yeah so people can see you too. And once you got it, because you're such a go-getter, everything kept clicking and you just kept on moving forward. And look at you now. You've even had a back surgery. I think it was not even 2 months ago. Hell yes, I see you. Not even 2 months ago, you had back surgery. And now you're flying solo because you got the message and you've implemented the habits that go along with it long enough so that no matter what, shit doesn't stop you. This is empowering you guys. So if you know that you are not there yet and you want that for yourself, let me see you go ahead and drop in the chat coaching. Drop in the chat coaching. Okay? Just so I know that you need help with coaching, because we don't know what we don't know. I see a bunch of other of you guys who have similar stories. Yes, okay. So, what does that look like? Sometimes when you hear something for the first time, you're like, dude, what are you talking about when you're saying, what does that look like? I don't know. You guys, the problem is that in society, when we are brought up, we're never taught like, hey, Sarit, Michelle, Leah, Gretchen, what do you want out of life? Instead, we're told you should want this out of life. And what it should look like is you should want to graduate from high school so that you can get to a good college, so that you can get a good job, so that you can, seem decent enough to have a decent marriage and a nice house and develop and, raise some kids, and on and on and on it goes. Right? So we think that this is the way that this is the American dream. When in fact, you get to create your dream. And whether you want to have a pink fence, a purple fence, or a blue fence, that shit don't matter. What matters is that you ask yourself, what fence do I want to have? What does that look like? Okay? And then, what is the purpose? Like, I want a pink fence because it stands out from all the other fences in the neighborhood. Okay, I get it. I want to look jacked because, number one, I know that not a lot of women look jacked. So first thing is it stands out. And secondly, when I look a certain way, I'm not an easy target. You see, I've been through some shit in my life where for me, not looking like an easy target is really important. Some women, I'll tell you this because we've had a lot of conversations with our clients and just with women in our community in general. For some women, looking overweight is actually a protective mechanism because maybe somebody hurt you in your life before. Maybe somebody hurt you and now you want to protect yourself. And you know that when you look a certain way, you might not be approachable. You might not be an easy target. I get you. For me, I'm just not willing to compromise my well-being. Okay, so you have to understand, like, where do you want to go? What does that look like? And what is the purpose of that? Once you get connected with that, then we can start executing some mechanics beneath that. However, most of us are just running between, like, I'm just keeping it real with you guys, like maniacs. If you've been anything like me, trying to burn 1,000 calories every single day in your workout, just working your butt off, if I'm being honest. and not really getting anywhere because you're so stuck in the mechanics than your vision. That's one of the biggest things that this industry is why this industry is failing you and why we're here, because we are here to enlighten you. Okay. Now, that's thing number one. The second thing that you got to think about is, why is it that whenever we are like, okay, I want to lose weight, or I'm gonna, like transform my body, or whatever it may be, right? Like whatever is that moment where you bring to your consciousness of, okay, things have got to change. We want it to be done like 3 hours ago. Meanwhile, what if, let's say I'm going to use the example that I used 2 minutes ago. What if maybe you've had some trauma in your life, and that trauma led to you subconsciously telling yourself, I will not care about how I look or feel. What I care about most is making sure that I'm being safe, that I'm not being an easy target. And then you start gaining weight. And then you're like, dude, how the fuck did I get to be 80 pounds heavier in just a year and a half? By the way, if this is you, if you've maybe had, like, we're very transparent here, we're very open, we're very vulnerable. If you've had, God forbid, like a pretty rough experience, and whether you were aware of it at the time or not, you've used your body as a protective mechanism to hide or to not be an easy target. Please go ahead and drop me in the chat so that we can also give you guys some hearts, because we're here to love on you. We're here to enlighten you. I know that this is very common. A lot of times we don't realize it until we've done it, and we're like, gosh, how can I? Okay, I see you guys. How can I just, like lose those 80 pounds like 8 days ago? See, it doesn't work that way. If it took you a year and a half to gain it, what makes you think in your mind that it's going to take you 8 days to get back to where you used to be? Thank you guys for supporting your crew and dropping some hearts in the chat. Like, you didn't get there overnight. What makes you think that you're going to get there like tomorrow? And I share this with you because this is so common. We think that, okay, maybe if we did something for 7 days and our life didn't change because we're just so ready for it to change, or, maybe we've been consistent for, like 30 days and we thought we would have been farther along the lines. Or maybe we don't even see any changes yet because your body is like, I don't trust you. Your body is like, dude, you've been shitting on me for 2 decades. Prove it to me. Right? Like, when we don't treat our body right, I want you to think about, cheating on your body like you're cheating on your spouse. If you've been cheated on by a spouse before, you know what I'm talking about. Or perhaps you cheated on someone. After a cheating act happened, does it take a day or even a date or one bouquet of flowers to say, baby, I trust you fully like it never happened before? No, it doesn't. At least not in my world. Right? So it's like, if you've been sabotaging your body for years and years and years, like, what in the world makes you think that within a couple of hours or a couple of days, your body's going to be like, oh, wow, okay, because you told yourself that you're sick and tired of feeling this way, I trust you now. No. Your body responds based on your habits. And I share this with you because so many times we tell ourselves bullshit stories. Michelle Pfeil, That was our very first conversation. 2 months in, she's like, nothing changed. I'm like, you just don't see it. But do you trust me? And she was actually, she came to us for a VIP day. I think it was like what now, 3 months ago. And dude, like we've done a workout in person. And I'll tell you, like she's fit as fuck. And Michelle, I think you're what, 48, something along those lines. And I'm like, dude, you inspire me. When I grow up, I want to be like you. However, we don't see what we're not ready to see yet. And sometimes our body doesn't trust us, especially if you've deprived it, especially if you've sabotaged on it. 48, okay, I remembered. So you see, these things are important. And this is a journey. So I want you to reframe your thinking, because I will tell you this. At any given point in time, somewhere along the way, if you haven't already experienced it, I bet you will. You will experience defeat because you may have had some kind of expectation. Perhaps because maybe somebody told you something, or perhaps you told yourself something. And when you get that realization, you're going to experience defeat. And how you respond at this point in time when you're facing defeat is going to determine what's for you on the other side. And I share this with you because this journey ain't about how fast are you doing it. You see, if Michelle would have stopped at week 8 because she treated a program like a meal plan, rather than enlighten her mind to learn the skills to develop a lifestyle, she would have cut herself short big time. Because as she gave it more time and those lessons sunk in and she created more habits, she became the person that made herself bulletproof, regardless of if she's 48 years old, regardless of, if she had a spinal surgery. Anything is possible. It's just a matter of what plan are you following? Are you following a plan of just straight up mechanics? No vision? And how are you approaching every single day? Are you approaching it in terms of mechanics or as a gateway to your vision? And also, are you treating it like a detox? You cannot build a lifestyle treating it like a detox. You simply cannot. You cannot build a lifestyle treating it like a diet. Okay, so I want to lead you to the final point here. Point number 1 is being focused and fixated on mechanics rather than vision. Point number 2 is being focused on fixated on how soon, how fast do I get to do this, rather than how far do I want to go. Point number 3, the first 10 years of my journey was extremely superficial. Transformation outside in. See, growing up, I was bullied. Growing up, nobody wanted to hang out with me. I was a fat child. I was being made fun of. I was sick and tired of feeling this way. I wanted to change my identity. So how could I change it? Well, you change your outside, everything will change, right? Wrong. So I was so fixated on changing my outside, did not focus at one bit on changing my inside. In fact, I was actually so fixated on changing my outside that I was like, as long as it changes my outside, I don't care what happens on the inside in terms of my spirit and my mind. Did not care about any of that. And you know what happened? Even when the weight went down, things only felt worse and worse. I would look every single night after the gym, before I'll take a shower, I'll stand in front of the mirror and I would look at myself. And I would judge myself. And I would tell myself nasty things. My thing was, you're a fat piece of shit. I kid you not. And I would pinch my lower belly so hard because that is where I store, like, it's like we all have this one body part where it's like, you know, like this is where no matter what, like this is what's called the trouble area. You have a tendency to just store more fat there. I don't know what it is for you, but for me, it's the lower belly. And I would just look at it and I would pinch it so hard. And I would get so much satisfaction from bruising myself every single night. And if there was a night where I did not like have purple or black marks in my lower belly, then I did not abuse myself well enough. And then the next day I had to punish myself with more food. I know it's very extremist, but I'm just keeping it real with you here. Okay. And I was just so focused on the external and nothing changed. I kept on doing the same thing over and over, and I only felt worse about myself. And all it took was 10 years of me doing the same goddamn thing. And then my dad almost lost his life. And that was the moment that turned to the next chapter of my life, where I was no longer as concerned about the stupid, superficial bullshit between you and I. Because now I saw my dad almost dying. Now I saw my mom almost losing her husband. Now I saw my dad almost leaving us at the age of 52. And it made me take a very close look out at life. You see, at some point, we're all going to die. And when we go through the day-to-day mundane bullshit, then what ends up happening is that we get so distracted from what life is actually all about. And until there's a moment that hits us. And I was like, wow, I cannot believe that you've been so obsessed with stupid, selfish little problems. And now you have to think about something bigger. Because what happens if you lose your dad? I'm the older child. I was going to be the one who was going to take responsibility for my mom and for my brother. You see, sometimes we don't realize until something hits us how stupid of a story we tell ourselves, how we become victims to our own reality, thinking that our problems is that, you know, our little pooch is getting in the way out of our lives. When what we don't realize is that we are not getting what life is all about in the first place. Life is all about service and what you do for others. And who do you need to become in order to do that for others? And I know that for some of you guys, it's your kids. For some of you guys, it's your families. For some of you guys, it's your communities. But I'll tell you guys something. That day, not only did I hope and pray that my dad was going to make it, and so that I could help him. However, I did not feel qualified to help him because, you see, I was too wrapped up in my own fucking bullshit. This diet, that diet had nothing to show for. because actually at that time, it was probably the heaviest I've ever been. So it doesn't matter how many diets you've been on. It doesn't matter how many mechanics you know. If you're not embodying that version of yourself that empowers you to live up in a way where you want to help others, none of that shit matters. And I'll tell you guys something, we see that way too often in this industry, and it breaks my heart. Easy to talk about it, harder to be about it. You already know that. So I had an aha moment, and I told God, you show me the way to transform me so I can transform my dad. So that I can help any woman who's either been in my shoes before, even if she was an extremist like me who would fucking pinch herself and her belly till she gets purple bruises, starve herself like it's a freaking competition, or like my dad who's got kids in the family to take care of and now his health is so compromised that he's debilitated. Show me the way. I will trust you and I will follow. And everything changed. Now, let me tell you something. Whoever it is that you want to help in your life, I don't know who it is or what that looks like, but let me tell you something. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink it. So my dad didn't really want help, and that's okay. But I find my purpose in the meantime. And it's to help you guys, to help this community to grow the most empowered, confident, free community in the freaking world. I don't care where you've come from. I don't care what you've been told before. I don't care what labels doctors, society, or anybody or anything told you. You can do anything as long as you know what you're going after, you know what the meaning is, as long as you ride by the coattails of somebody who's been there and done that, rather than try to be right, listen. And as long as you do anything that you set your mind to, regardless of how many times you get knocked down. Some of you guys, to drop 10 pounds, it's going to take you 6 months. Some of you guys, it's going to take you less than 6 weeks. But we get so distracted in the comparison game. We get so distracted by the mechanics. We get so distracted by the bullshit stories that keep us in our comfort zone that nothing actually changes. Do you see me? And this is why I feel inspired on a Transformation Tuesday to come at you, because I believe in you. I believe in you because let me tell you something. If I can do it, you can do it too. So I want to say thank you guys for joining me today. For anybody who dropped coaching up earlier, do not be surprised if I connect with you, if time permits. Because if you want coaching, I want to help you. So if you know that that is something that you're still interested in, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. And if I can, I promise I will do my part. But in the meantime, what matters is that you remember those 3 things and you apply them. And you be kind to yourself. Because we tend to beat ourselves way too much for things that don't even matter. We think that our problems are so big until a bigger problem hits us in our face. I thought that, not hitting the amount of calories that I was set to have was a big problem until my dad got a heart attack. And then I realized, wow, that was so stupid. That was so fucking selfish. Get out of your own way. Okay. Appreciate you guys. We love you so, so much. And we believe in you. And do me a favor. If there's a woman in your life that you know would resonate with this story to whatever degree, may I ask that you share this with her? Because you see, it takes a team to move a mountain. And when you're so like wrapped up in your own just day to day, not realizing it, all you need is you need someone to stand for you. And you need to be introduced to a community of other supportive badasses who can stand for you too. Because let me tell you something, we all go through difficult times. We all go through tough days. And you guys do such a great job empowering one another. If you know that there was a day where you're like, dude, I felt like throwing down the towel, and then Darcy Hook, it's great to see you. I don't know if you just popped on, but it's been a minute. If you're like, I'm ready to throw down the towel, and then somebody either reached out to you or you saw something and you felt empowered, you got connected, and it pushed you to your next breakthrough, then go ahead and drop a heart, because this is your guys' heart. And imagine the size of the impact that you're already creating. But the impact that you can create in the world lies in the impact that you can make on yourself. So as I share this with you, I'm grateful for you guys joining me today. I hope that you found a lot of value in this. And what I want you to know is that, I'm not sure where you're at in your journey. I mean, we talked about your length of time in this community not too long ago. However, you're all going to experience moments of defeat. Stick around, reach up for help, and get immersed. That's the only way. And then if you loved today's conversation, if you found value in this, just go ahead and spread the word so that we can continue to empower one another and be the freaking change that the world needs to hear and see. Much love for you guys. Just a heads up that on Thursday, Aaron and I are going to be jumping in for a Q&A. I know it's been a while because we've done like a lot of like live streams and all of that. Of course, Q&A is a live stream as well. However, it's going to be a Q&A live stream, and it's been a minute. So much love, and I will see you on Thursday, hopefully. Take care.